To begin with, I'll give a quick summary of our background. The Les Mills organisation is in its 55th year. Les Mills was an iconic New Zealand athlete, head national track and field coach, and later three-term mayor of Auckland, New Zealand's largest city. He opened his first public gym in 1968, staffed by sports coaches with the intention of taking elite sports training methods to the masses. This concept was not particularly successful until a decade later, when they moved to larger premises and introduced group training. At that point, when the world was entering the era of leotards and leg warmers, the Les Mills organisation was running science-based sports and weight training classes in huge studios holding groups of up to 300 people. They standardised the classes and training of coaches, and the club grew into a chain throughout New Zealand and Australia, where hundreds of other clubs licensed them. Currently, 21,500 gyms in 120 countries license Body Pump, Body Combat, and 25 other programs for live, in-club, and virtual classes. As you're aware, competition in our industry has increased dramatically in recent years, with low-cost, small local, boutique, and online sectors all booming. How do you create a club that can sustainably win in this market? The first battle we need to face is reducing membership churn. As you know, the average gym loses half of its members every year. To win that battle, we need to understand what industry we're in. That is, why do people go to gyms when they can exercise in their living room or at the local park? We believe it's because they lack motivation, that they come to clubs for motivation. We're in the motivation business as much as the exercise business. How do we measure motivation? We need a key metric that enables us to manage it. Ursa and other researchers say the answer is attendance frequency, the most important metric in our industry, but one of the least measured. This Ursa membership retention report from 2013 is one of the industry's most referenced pieces of research. It proves that the frequency of visits to a club is directly associated with retention. It says that members who attend less than 1.5 times a week will quit within a year. Members who attend 2+ times a week will stay for 2 to 10 years. More recently, there's a huge UK active study that shows 3 times a week attendees staying an average of around about 3 years. Motivation can come in a lot of forms, and different clubs do it differently. From creating great spaces where people want to spend time, or social communities where people go to meet each other and our team members, to exciting workout activities, etc. As I'm sure you're aware, group training is the most concentrated way to deliver all these things at once. A single great instructor will bring and retain hundreds of members, a team of them thousands. A body pump class consists of 1,000 barbell reps, 5 to 10 times what the average person does on the gym floor. It gets results, and it makes people feel mentally and physically really good. Participants in quality group exercise attend 3+ times a week. Research by Nielsen, Qualtrics, and UK Active shows that Les Mills class users attend 3+ times a week, which increases retention and sales via membership referrals from raving fans. Further research from Ursa and Mintel shows that 33% of club users are paying to do gym activities elsewhere. Many of them are paying more than twice as much for classes at boutiques than they pay to use a regular club in a month. If you create a boutique experience in your club, you can create a price tier, or you can increase your overall prices. So how do you create a boutique experience in your facility? What is it that they do so well? The biggest factors is that they're creating great workouts and a whole new generation of rockstar teachers. In terms of creating great classes, every Les Mills class takes 3 months to create, going through a music selection and licensing process, followed by 40 to 50 iterations and reiterations, during which it's scientifically tested for effectiveness, safety, and what we call magic per minute before being filmed using role model instructors of all nationalities. Our instructor training process is, as you know, regarded as the industry gold standard. Instructors usually describe it as life-changing, and it now contains 10 levels of possible qualifications. Anyone who achieves level 5 or above will fill your studio and attract hundreds of members. We can help you to beat the boutiques. Furthermore, boutique experiences are what Gen Z and millennials are looking for, which brings us to the second big challenge clubs are facing right now. How do you win the battle for the new generation? We believe winning or losing with this market is both a massive opportunity and a life or death threat. On the opportunity side, Gen Z is the biggest generation of all time, and they're more in fitness than any other previous generation. In our new global study, 30% are using a gym of some kind and 50% are interested in the possibility. On the threat side, 60% of people joining gyms are under 35. In our New Zealand club, 60% are under 30. Stats of gym chains that have been around for a while show that members who join your club in their 20s will come and go all of their lives. If you don't get them then somebody else will, and it's hard to take them away from their first club. You may think that this graph is just a local phenomenon to our New Zealand clubs, but this slide is a global example of 5,000 clubs, including many of the biggest chains in the world. Many people were amazed to see these results from their own clubs. The risk here is that if they join other clubs at that age, we may never get them back. And look, yes, most of us want to serve society by trying to get older people to be more active again, and we'd love to see those older members in our clubs. But the question you have to ask is, from a purely practical point of view, wouldn't it make sense to fish where the fish are? And the fact is that older members like to try new things too. We've researched the trends. Over our 43 years involved in group exercise, there's been a new wave of classes that each generation fell in love with. In the 80s, there were a lot of high and low impact classes and dance classes. In the 90s, we moved from the leotards and leg warmers era into more athletic classes like step, body pump, spinning and Taibo. Partly this resulted from the creativity of innovators producing new ideas, but partly it was variations upon powerful long-term needs. Feminism, for instance, brought a need for physical strength, which made women feel empowered. That was first documented in university research papers in the 80s. And strength classes have evolved over 4 generations, from hand weights to pump to CrossFit to all kinds of circuit and other strength classes. Some of the old formats have managed to modernize every decade or so and stay fresh, but each generation has brought a new set of trends, and not surprisingly, bringing on new classes seems to bring old members back too. Everybody likes trying new things. We have a track record of producing winning classes for 4 generations of gym goers. We've researched the trends for this generation and are currently releasing our 6th workout of 12 that have been crafted meticulously for Gen Z and young millennials. Those programs include ceremony, conquer, strength development, shapes, Les Mills dance and functional strength, with new yoga, blitz boxing and many more still to come. We clearly win the prize for being the industry's worst name inventors, but our classes have been consistently loved by members. We have a huge number of limited edition classes coming, designed for Gen Z and young millennials, and we're also constantly renewing the old programs. For instance, we've performed a major reinvention of body pump every decade or so, with new exercises, coaching and music styles, and new equipment. Body Attack's been around for 43 years, and it's still popular with a big mix of old people and young. Kind of like golden oldies music that's been remade and remixed and is loved by all generations. This slide contains the biggest data on group training trends in 2022. This ClassPass MindBody data is based on millions of workout bookings. As you can see, it bears out our research, with the strength category having been #1 for several years, with yoga and Pilates in 2nd and 3rd. And don't forget that yoga and Pilates, as well as being MindBody, contain a lot of functional strength. That study also showed the fastest growing class to be Sculpt. Our new version of this, currently launching worldwide, is called Shapes, and it's one of the most successful classes we've ever launched, attracting huge numbers of women in their 20s and 30s. This class, Ceremony, is a program we think will change your life as a club owner. Our biggest class since Body Pump in clubs where it's launched. It's a perfect mix of strength and cardio. People say they feel exhilarated doing them, how strong they feel afterwards, and how they love the feeling of community. It's a modern version of the super circuits that were most popular classes in New Zealand and Australian gyms in the 1980s and 90s, from which F45 and BFT descended. It's a huge opportunity to bring the boutique market into your club. You can start them in a corner of your gym floor. Gym floor users are loving the energy that brings. And we're seeing a resurgence of cycle with immersive studios, which are probably the world's most cutting-edge workouts. Cycle studio attendance, which has lagged in some clubs since the pandemic, has grown at our flagship Auckland City Club by 273% to a record attendance of 2,522 rides in a week. The top left table on this slide shows gross attendances at our 12 New Zealand clubs for the week beginning the 7th of August this year. You can see that Body Pump is still on number 1 spot, with Ceremony 2nd, Sprint 3rd, the Trip 4th, Body Balance 5th, etc. But Ceremony is only in 4 of our clubs, and in each of those it's number 1. When you look at the bottom left table, which shows averages, you'll see our boutique classes, Ceremony, Conquer and the Trip, occupying 3 of the top 5 spots, alongside Body Pump and Body Combat, with Shapes already in the number 6 spot. As always, instructors are key to our success. As you know, a single great instructor will bring hundreds of members to your club, and a team of them will bring thousands. We have to recruit a new generation of instructors. All you really have to do is appoint a cool young person to network around and find a team of talented young people to attend one of our training weekends. Half of them will probably be on your gym floor already. As you know, our training is widely recognised as the fitness industry's gold standard, and attendees find it life-changing. We guarantee that they will want to teach the classes afterwards. Who do you have who could do this? Someone on your team and your family and your member base? We want to sign your team up now for their first Gen Z training in 6 weeks' time. You can bring 5 free within the Platinum Bundle. Outside of that or afterwards, it normally costs $399 a person, but we'll do it as part of your package for $249 each. And look, I'm not saying that older generations can't be great. Look at Beyonce. She's one of the world's greatest performers and she appeals to all age groups, or even older, Bruce Springsteen and Mick Jagger. But they're rare creatures who have worked incredibly hard to stay fresh and relevant to young generations. For every few of those, there are hundreds of young artists who Gen Z and young millennials love. If your older instructors want to teach new programs, encourage them to update their skills with our new training and multi-level assessment system. We also want to sign you and as many members of your team up as you want for a free live or online group fitness management course that'll teach you how to recruit and manage rockstar instructors, plus everything else about GFM, from timetable strategy to marketing and studio design. During lockdown, we've completely rewritten it and it's free to you and your team as part of any of your packages. In summary, I believe strongly in this quote from Les Mills Sr. back in 1968. We are a purpose-driven organisation around fitness and much more. Les Mills has always been an environmental advocate. One of the best things we can do right now is to plant trees, a lot of trees, not just any trees, but rainforests, which sequester a huge amount of carbon and create climate change resilience. We work with the wonderful trees.org to do this, and we plant over 1 million trees a year. We also work in UNICEF on initiatives like Workout for Water, which provides wells for people living in third world countries. And to improve children's health, we're including our children's programs, Born to Move, free of charge to all of our club partners. We encourage you to pass these on to people joining your facility. This will attract members, improve children's health, increase team engagement, and improve the environment. 91% of Gen Z place high importance on a brand's sustainability and 80% on its sustainable approach, its charitable approach.